The Last Guardian tells the tale of a young boy who mysteriously wakes up next to a giant bird dog thing called Trico. The game tells you right away that Trico is a man-eater, but after feeding him a few barrels of bird dog catnip and removing some spears and armor, he's perfectly fine with you riding on his back towards whatever puzzles and foes you might encounter. This is as much of a premise as the game gives, and really it's all you need. We all know how long this game took to come out. It spent an eternity in development, so the question was always going to be, was it worth the wait? Unfortunately, the answer to this, it's a resounding no. Let's start with the pros. The art style is gorgeous, and for anyone who played Shadow of the Colossus or Eco, you will feel right at home. The world feels very cohesive. It is very rewarding to occasionally look out from whatever plateau you and Trico have reached and see just how far you've come. Being able to recognize the previous buildings and areas that you've trekked through, it's a nice touch, and it gives the player a sense that a journey has actually taken place. In addition to the interesting environments, there's some standout memorable moments in the game. If you play The Last Guardian to completion, there will definitely be highlight moments that you remember and enjoy. The problem is that these moments are very few and far between, and the gaps between them are filled mostly with frustration. For a game that promised big on story, The Last Guardian really underwhelms. There's really nothing wrong with the story, but this game could be the final successor to games like Eco and Shadow of the Colossus. With that much pressure, this game just fails to deliver. The Last Guardian could be the poster child for how bad controls can really disrupt a narrative. Plain and simple, the buggy controls destroy any potential The Last Guardian had. The controls feel clunky from the beginning, and never really get any better. The controls are very similar to that of Eco or Shadow of the Colossus, but the problem is that those games came out 2005 or earlier. A decade later you would expect some improvement, but there's none to be found here. Trico at times is impossible to grab onto, and other times impossible to let go of. The camera is just as bad, and several times throughout the game you'll be unable to tell what in the world is going on as you cling to Trico for dear life. Couple this with the dozens of times Trico will inadvertently kill you, and you have one extremely frustrating experience of a game. Take for instance this scene. Trico has just taken a massive beating, and you must nurse him back to health by feeding him. This should be a moment where you're building a bond with this creature. You have relied on Trico for the entire game, and now he is relying on you. The problem is that the game is not designed well enough to make setting a barrel down in front of Trico and him eating it be a reasonable task. This moment is ruined by the pure frustration of knowing exactly what you need to do, but being unable to do so due to buggy mechanics. The same frustrations occur throughout many of the puzzles in the game. Your character has the upper body strength of Hercules. He demonstrates this with some amazing one-handed grabs throughout the game. The problem with this, and this might seem like a small issue, but he can't lift a barrel or place a barrel anywhere above his midsection. There are puzzles in this game that are designed based on these limitations, but they're limitations that don't make any sense given what we've seen. Puzzles that aren't designed this way usually end up being as simple as call Trico and wait for him to do the thing he's supposed to do so you can progress further into the game. This can be insanely frustrating when he just stands there staring at you. You stare back at him, neither of you doing anything, even though you both obviously know what needs to be done. So, here's the real question. Should you play it? Unless you're dying to know what the years and years of development hell did to this game, there are better games out there for you to play. The Last Guardian, for me, will always be remembered as a disappointment. Thanks for watching this review. Check me out on Twitch and YouTube. I am Buckeye734. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it.